Hey guys, No Bullshit here, welcome back to the channel, and today we're here to talk about my thoughts, your thoughts on the Greatsword in the Monster Hunter Wilds beta. Let's get into it. So firstly, as always, we should go over my experience with the Greatsword, and I have quite a lot because I've played Greatsword since try, on and off for quite a while. In 3U, it was actually my main weapon for the solo portion of the game. I rinsed that weapon out in that game, loved it in 3U. There was a particular Greatsword that I used. It was a blast one that you could use with Awakening, and it was perfect. It's also in GU. I'll show you on the screen right now if I can. I have it in the game, I believe, and it was just a beautiful Greatsword. I loved it. I just remember destroying Ozworths over and over. So I've used it since 3U, 4U, used it a lot in GU, Adept style, Valor style, and Guild style on my styles, Aerial style too. Basically any style, apart from Striker. I don't really like Striker too much. I use it in the new gen 2, but not as much. I don't really like new gen too much for Greatsword. That's just me personally. True Charge Slash is nice, but I kind of like the hit and run style of the past, but that's just me. Maybe it's just me being an old man, but you know, preferences, right? Everyone can have their own. But enough of that, let's get into the poll results. The question of today was Greatsword users. What did you think of your weapon in the Wilds beta? As of this video, we got 172 votes, with 60% saying I love it, 35% saying I like it, 4% saying I don't like it, and 1% saying I hate it. Now these are great results. This leaves Greatsword at third place for the most loved weapon in percentages out of all the weapons we've done so far. So congratulations to Greatsword. And from reading all the comments, people have just said a lot of beautiful things. No one has really big complaints about Greatsword. I think there's only one person, but yeah, we'll get straight into that with this one. At first we got Mr. 101 AA Man, and they say, the more I played with it, the more I loved it. Greatsword has always been the Monster Hunter weapon, and this time it feels really great with quite a few options: blocking, offset attacks, cool follow-up, and focus attacks animations. And of course, the trademark end the fight after a dozen clean hits damage. After a while, I started feeling the hit stop again on charge attacks. Not sure if that was an optical illusion, but I love it. Thanks for this, Mr. 101. Now, but you're right, it's always good to see Greatsword doing a lot of damage. Now, I didn't get to try too much with the offset attack in the game, but I do like the offset attack. It's really cool. I do like offset attacks in general, and a lot of people actually talked about offset attacks actually in this poll. I think out of all the weapons so far, Greatsword has the most people talking about the offset attack. And I guess that just goes to show how well they did it with this particular weapon. We saw it in the trailer. We didn't know it was an offset attack at the time, but now we've seen it, we've played with it, and we can kind of get a feel of the combat, how it's going to work in Wilds. Every weapon is going to have a way to counter attack the monster. And Greatsword seems to be a weapon where you can do it very consistently to offset, push the monster on their back. Is it going to be too powerful? Who knows? It's hard to say. We have to wait and see how things go later on in the game, but I do love it. I like this iteration of the Greatsword so far, but I need more time with it, like you say. Right now, I like it. I want to move towards love, but I need to play it more. I need to try out the offset attack more and really get into how it plays in this game for me to really enjoy it. So thanks for the comment. And here we got DD Viking once again. Thanks for this, my Danish friend. I love Copenhagen, great city. Anyway, as a Greatsword main, I mostly love it. The offset attack makes the rising slash more useful, and the focus strike is so satisfying to do on wounded monsters. My only complaint is that all of the charge slashes just need a bit more oomph to them. It feels like patting the monster instead of hitting them with a big chunky weapon. Now you're right, DD, you're not the only one to say this. Many people have talked about it. I mean, previously in the last comment, Mr. 101 said that he felt that at first the hit stop wasn't there. People have said it for every weapon, so I don't think this is just Greatsword in particular. But yes, the beta seemed to have missed a lot of hit stop. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. In the Rise demo, I remember a lot of people talked about there was enough oomph to weapons, to hits, and it seems like it's a continuous thing here. I think Capcom's doing some finishing touches in the last moments rather than while developing the game, so I think we're going to be good on that part, so we don't have to worry too much on that. Now the focus strike, it's good that you like it. For me, I kind of found it a bit difficult to aim it sometimes. Maybe I need to play a bit more and really kind of test around and how it works, because sometimes, you know, you guys down below have to let me know how you feel as well, because maybe it's just me. Probably it's just me, but when I was using it, I found it kind of difficult to really aim the focus strike on the right place. But then sometimes, because the Greatsword is so big, it is a focus strike on the other side of the monster, it would still hit it, which kind of felt like cheating, but I mean, it did it. So it's not my fault it did it, it just did it. But once again, talking about offset attack, yeah, offset attack is great. So thanks for this comment, DD. Catch you again soon. And next we got a couple of comments talking about the true charge slash in particular, so I've grouped them up together. But first we got Real Large Fungus 4555. Thanks for this comment, my guy. And they say Greatsword is usually always my secondary in modern Monster Hunter games. I switch between Greatsword and Hammer often. I actually really like the changes done to the weapon, and I think it functions really well in focus mode. I really like the offset attack. I think while it's easier to land than the hammers, it's still not super easy. The only issue I have with the weapon is the change to true charge slash. So as far as I'm aware, the true charge slash motion values have been drastically decreased across the board. I assume this is to account for the ability to aim it using focus mode. 180 TCS kinda does look dumb too, but I overall think that's fine. But I don't think the damage should be nerfed outside of focus mode. I think it would be cool if the game rewarded you for landing a true charge slash without entering focus mode, where it would then revert the motion values back to the previous numbers. That's a very interesting idea actually. But I foresee an issue with that when it comes to just focus mode in general because then we could get in a situation where some things are just easier to hit in focus mode. Pretty much everything is easier to hit in focus mode, to be honest. So we might get into an instance where people are like, okay, why are you changing the damage in focus mode and out of focus mode for Greatsword? Why not for Hammer? Why not for Charge Blade? Why not for Sword, Shield, Switch Axe, or any weapon in particular? We could get into a situation where it turns out like that. If they do it in just one part but not other parts, it kind of muddles the feeling of focus mode and what it's built for. But I do agree that, or maybe that's just me, and maybe them doing it will be fine, and then reducing it only in focus mode, not outside of focus mode, would be a good decision. Before we talk more about true charge slash, I want to say that it's great to see that you've been playing more than just one weapon. I like to see people trying out other weapons. And I noticed a lot of people in these comments have actually talked on many different posts, not just one. So there's a lot of people who played multiple weapons, and I love to see it. It's always good to try different weapons in Monster Hunter. And Fungus talks about focus mode here. So yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the odd one out and everyone else likes focus mode, and it's just me who doesn't particularly love the mode for Greatsword. Maybe I just need more practice on it. That's probably it. The more I practice with it, the more I get used to it, the better it will be for me. And I love the fact that you say that the offset attack is not too easy. It shouldn't be easy. You know, these are kind of mechanics I think we need to be practicing with to get perfect. And maybe one day we'll be so good that we'll be countering every single move and monsters will be falling over all the time. That would be insane. Probably pretty broken and might make the game easy, but we don't know yet. We have to wait and see. And when it comes to true charge slash, just wrapping back to that, it's possible that the balance will change in the full game. We don't know that yet, but you're not the only one who talked about true charge slash, like I was saying. If you look at our next clip here from Sci-Fi5391, and they say, personally, I'm very happy with the Greatsword, but I do have a couple things I feel mixed on. Firstly, I play on mouse and keyboard, so focus mode is just insane on Greatsword, to the point that it kind of feels brain dead. It's extremely fun, but I'm not perfectly sure how I feel about it. Damn, mouse and keyboard. There is a couple people I've heard of that play Monster Hunter mouse and keyboard. I've got to say, you guys are troopers, because I could never do that. I guess it's just me and my muscle memory of playing it on console for so long, but more power to you. Anyway, secondly, I'm personally not the biggest fan that the motion values of the TCS is reduced. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Thirdly, in the beta, the guard on a Greatsword can block even Ray Dow's large lightning attacks. It's nice, but seems kind of powerful. Same with SNS Shield. Alright, well, we already talked about point 1 mostly, but brain dead, I guess kind of, yeah, I guess if you can kind of aim your TCS with the mouse, it kind of feels like a point and click now in focus mode. It's not really like you controlling it properly. I mean, it's kind of like that on control as well, but not as easy. With driver controls, focus mode probably is the best way to play, and definitely keyboard and mouse is even better than driver controls. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. Secondly, like I was saying, with Fungus, with DD, a lot of people have talked about the motion values with TCS. It's not just you guys. Everyone is talking about it. So it seems to be a consensus. Now, Fungus said that it's possible that they nerfed it due to focus mode. That's very possible. But I guess it's kind of annoying because then just fighting normally is being nerfed as well. If they're going to change it with Funk's ideas, I don't know, but it's very possible. Now you talk about Garden. Now, Garden is more about based on the attack. If the attack is blockable or unblockable. Now, Raidao doesn't have any unblockable moves, and that's just simply it. If it did have unblockable moves, you know, no weapon could stop it. Like, if you can block a move or not isn't dictated by how powerful your block is. The stronger your block, the faster you recover from a move. Hence, Lance and Gun Lance will recover faster from blocking a move than a Greatsword or Sword Shield. But as long as a move isn't unblockable, they can all block the same things. It's just the fact that Ray Dow's lightning attacks aren't unblockable, which surprised a lot of people, because in a lot of cases, the elemental attacks are genuinely unblockable. Not always, but that one definitely feels like it should be. But I think if it was unblockable, people would hate the demo. Honestly, they would hate the demo with shields, because Lance and Gun Lance, there's almost no way for you to get out of the way of that attack when you're in the way of the monster. There's no feasible time for you to get out of the way. Maybe that's why they did it, I don't know. It's not a Greatsword thing, it's a Ray Dow lightning thing, just to clear that up. And then we got Honey Konav down in the comments saying, I think that's kind of the point. Guardian in Wilds seems more powerful than they have been previously in the series, at least as a baseline. They appear to be warding Guardian with every weapon capable of guarding, so using the block now feels a lot more powerful, even with weapons that historically aren't got a great guard. Yeah, I also do agree that they're definitely pushing more blocking in this game. Definitely, even when you go to the website, I remember seeing on the website, they actually specifically point out if a weapon can guard or can't guard. And I was always wondering, why are they doing that? And when you see things like offset attacks and clash attacks, you can kind of see why, because the Guardian is a big aspect of this game now, and they want it to mean more. But as I said before, in this instance, it's not Greatsword thing, it's more of the Ray Dow's thing. I'm pretty sure there's going to be moves that are unblockable, because I think the only unblockable move in this demo is actually from Doshiguma. Doshiguma, when he lifts up the ground, that's unblockable. I tried to block it, you can't block it, okay? You can't block it. Maybe it's because it's coming from below and the hitbox is weird, but regardless, from what I've experienced, you cannot block that move. So unblockable is still in the game. It's just that Ray Dow doesn't have any unblockable moves. Thanks for these comments, guys. I really appreciate it. Next, we got Geoffrey Muna, who also says a similar thing. I like it. TCS doesn't deal as much damage as I thought it would. Makes it worth it to charge normal charges or strong charges. Greatsword may not be the weapon with the most amount of damage dealt in one hit now. Hammer probably took that spot with its new attack. Damn, I don't know how I feel about that. I think Greatsword has to be the staple biggest hitting move. I think if there's ever a game where Greatsword hasn't got the biggest hitting move, then something is wrong philosophy wise. Now, Hammer is a weapon that definitely should be close in damage to Greatsword when it comes to single hit because of the nature of the weapon, but Hammer is a weapon that can move and hit much more than Greatsword. Obviously, that new move they gave it, the winding move, I'm not sure what it's called, takes quite a while to charge up and it's very slow when you're using it. So maybe it makes sense why that's a very strong hitting move. We have to really see when the game comes out on the balance they put for this, but I'm sure it'll be okay. I don't think Capcom are going to leave Greatsword like that. I think they're going to do a lot of justice when it comes to its damage. So people worried about the True Charge Slash and its damage, don't worry, it will come. I'm sure it will come. And if it doesn't come, you can quote me. Now we've got a couple more comments on the True Charge Slash from Joe Sheridan. Changing the direction mid True Charge Slash is so stupid. Yeah, to be honest, when I first saw it, I cringed. I actually cringed, like real life cringed. I saw it when I was sleeping. I woke up, I saw it, and I just felt ill. I don't like it, to be honest. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good to have. It kind of contradicts what the Greatsword is meant for. It's meant for deliberate moves and deliberate attacks straight on, and not being able to move midway to hit. It just kind of adds into that feeling that everyone's been talking about since the 5th gen started, that monsters are getting easier and easier. And it's hard to disagree when you see things like that, right? It's really hard to disagree with that comment because the move is meant to be a move that has to be deliberate. You're supposed to be charging that move and be like, okay, this is the time I'm going to use this move. There's so many ways for you to get to the position to use the move with your shoulder bashes and so on. And once you're there, then you need to time it correctly to actually use the move. It shouldn't be so easy to then change midway to hit it. I don't agree with it. Honestly, I don't agree with it, but they've done it. I played with it in the demo. I used it a bit. It is what it is. I don't think it fits the Greatsword philosophy, to be honest, but it's the weapon now. I suppose we just kind of have to accept it. We got Knack here, and they say, True Charge Slash, my child. What have they done to you? Now, I assume this is probably focused on the motion values and what they've done there, but also you could be talking about the change in the direction. All right, we got our first bigger comment here from Yap Butter, and they say, okay, to be honest, I really never liked Greatsword that much in the 5th gen. I thought it was cool, but 90% of the time devolved into spamming True Charge Slash, especially with Strong Arm in Sunbreak. Just makes for a rather uninteresting gameplay. It was so abysmal, though. I loved it to death in the beta. Offset attacks plus focus strikes to stagger left Greatsword play in a way that allows him to stand his ground rather than hit and running till you can True Charge Slash. Greatsword feels amazing with the extra offense and defense he was given, just the right amount to make it truly versatile and not overtuned. Cough cough longsword. I'm also in love with the fact that they let Rising Slash actually get use. Greatsword previously usually only ended up using 2 attacks. Letting a third one enter the spotlight does open up opportunities to use the rest of the kit more equally. Of course, I love Greatsword in Wilds. No additions feel unnecessary, and no additions seem to have gone to waste. Thanks for this yap butter. And I actually do agree, I don't love 5th gen Greatsword as much as old Greatsword. That's just me. You didn't say old gen, to be honest. You just said you didn't like it that much. I'm the guy who liked, the hit and run from the old style. It's what I knew, it's what I grew up on, the streets I grew up on, and I grew to love it. It always felt tactical and deliberate, and I really had to understand how monsters move and where to be at a certain time. Even then, I had a lot of fun playing it in Rise, playing it in World, definitely Rise. I had a lot of fun playing aerial style. I didn't play it much in Sunbreak, but I played it a lot in base Rise. Rage Slash was so much fun. I had too much fun. I can't lie about that. I'm not much of a True Charge Slash guy. I like Rage Slash more. All that being said, from what you had to say about True Charge Slash and standing your ground and all that stuff, I love that idea. I actually love that idea of standing your ground with the Greatsword and being able to just be there and not having to run away, put your weapon away, quick sheath. I'm not sure how it's going to play out in game, but I can just imagine just standing there with your weapon out while a monster comes up to you. You just offset attack it, get right into the combat, start ramming down in it. This might be a new era of Greatsword where we don't put our weapons away and just wait. We have our weapons out, we wait for the monster to come to us, and we're gonna offset the fuck out of them. And then when they're down, we're going to take the most advantage of it. The most advantage. I think that's going to be great. I think it's going to be so cool. Definitely when people get better at this. I can't imagine how amazing it's going to be when we get good with the offset attacks. It's going to be such a good feeling. Now, coming on to what you say about other moves. Yes, Greatsword is one of the weapons I would say has a lot. One of the most wasted moves. Like a lot of the moves where you just swing into the sides. They don't do much. It has a lot of useless moves with, I think, the circle combo, people would say. It's normally the triangle combo that you use. And don't know why I said PS controllers, because I don't even play on PS, but it's the first thing that came to my head, so I said it. So it's good that they're actually making things more useful with the Rising Slash, and I hope they keep on doing that with more weapons further into the games and DLC and so on. It always kind of feels annoying when your kit has many different avenues, many different ways to do those things, many different things to do, but all those options kind of suck. And the optimal option is just pressing the same 2 buttons. Like, that doesn't feel engaging. It just kind of feels like a waste of potential. And I don't know about you guys, I hate waste of potential. It makes me feel ill physically, honestly. Definitely when I've wasted potential on something. So to see them waste potential isn't great, and I'm glad they're using it. They're actually utilizing the potential of the Greatsword even further now. From a hit and run back in 4th gen before, to the True Charge Slash spam in 5th gen, to now offsetting and stand your ground Greatsword in Wilds. I'm excited. Let's go. Now here we got Anonymous. Thanks for this comment, my guy. And he says, my very first monster hunter weapon. Of course I had to test it. Not disappointed a single way. It is the Greatsword I dreamed of since a decade now. Basically put, all the moves have a purpose. It's a combo weapon, like the old days, and a charge weapon at the same time. I couldn't like it more that way. Perfect combination between Rise Sunbreak editions and World's charging heavy gameplay loop. Basically takes me back to my favorite iteration of Greatsword, 4th gen Greatsword, that works similarly. Better damage coming out of charging that would lead to combos. So I'm really happy about what they did in Wilds. The tackle being a parry that also keeps the charge level is insanely powerful and actually relevant addition. It just feels perfect. One of the best looking focus strikes and best offset attacks. But also the weapon with the best use of focus mode. It's just making it feel incredibly amazing to me. One major problem though, it lacks so much sound impact. Yes, that sound impact like we talked about before from Mr. AA Man and also from DD. They also said the same thing. It's missing. We need something. Sound impact, just impact in general, but it's not just the Greatsword, like I said, it's all the weapons. Now I really like how you see it as more of a combo weapon move. I didn't really see it like that, but maybe that's just me. Maybe the way I was playing it wasn't really like that. I kind of still feel like it's, 5th gen, but with a bit more options now when it comes to the offset attack and standing your ground like Yak Butter just previously said. But maybe there's something to it when it comes to combo and damage routes that I haven't really played with. Now I want to really just get into every weapon. That's one of the things I'm so excited for playing this game. I just want to delve into every weapon and see what these weapons are about. I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to do that. I'm glad it's a dream weapon. Everyone needs a dream weapon. Honestly, everyone needs a dream weapon. And I like what you say about the mix of Rise and World, and it's just good. Like, I think we need that. A lot of people, they say, go back to here, do this, do that. Why can't we just take the best parts of everything and just keep evolving forward together? Why does it need to be so absolute on certain decisions? So I like how you put it. It's good to just take the best of all things. Now, the tackle being a parry and keeping your charge levels, I actually didn't realize that, but I think I did notice it when I was tackling. I'm like, oh, I'll get straight into true charge slash. How is that possible? But I just kind of went, you know, maybe it's always been this way. I'm not the biggest true charge slash player. It just seemed to work really well for me, so that was great. Now, coming on to your second to last point on the focus strikes. Yeah, it just seems like it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one who didn't really like the focus strike so much. Then again, I kind of complained about a lot of focus strikes. I think the only focus strike I didn't complain about was the hammer and the hunting horn. I think I complained about pretty much every other focus strike. No, I didn't complain about focus strike and insect glaive. I thought it was okay. Maybe it's just me, guys. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But Anonymous, thanks for this. And here we got Honey Kona, and C says, I ain't gonna yap as much as I did in my other post, but I do find it interesting that WoW's Greatsword is essentially a reworked Frontier Greatsword. But holy shit, they really went and just taken Greatsword and made it better, being the only weapon on record to consistently offset Raid Owl, the class being one of the best animations among them, putting your whole shoulder into the block, the mountain attack and the focus strike feeling fantastic with how you drag that sucker through the body, the nerf extreme style one with slinger to pull your weight forward, and one of the most unexpected weapons, get an aerial focus strike where they reuse world's weakener attack. Okay, maybe this old girl can't help but yap a bit. Oh, and true charge slash drifting is such a super villain move. I love it. Thanks for this, Honey Konav. I really appreciate this comment. But I gotta say, the audacity of you to say I ain't gonna yap that much and then sends more than 8 sentences. Like, come on. They're still good though. I'm glad they're less. They are less. I'll give you that. But I'm just like, bro, you didn't hold back that much. It was just a bit. Maybe like 20%. I appreciate it though. I really do. I do love what you have to say on a lot of your points here. Now, first of all, I didn't know that it was so consistent that you can offset Raid Out all the time. That is actually insane. And like I was saying before, if it's going to be a thing that you can do it 100% of the time to some monsters, once we get good of it, it might actually just be broken. And monsters are just going to spend most of the time on the ground, which is going to be crazy. And this actually makes me think. At the same time before, I said this is going to be the best multiplayer playing game when it comes to Monster Hunter. I also think it might also kind of be best played solo, because when you got things like focus attacks and clash attacks, if monsters focus on so many different people, how are you going to actually be able to use that in combat properly? You might not be able to do that. That's going to be a problem actually. Maybe the better we get of it, it doesn't matter. As soon as this monster comes to us, we're ready. It might be a bit weird if we just see people waiting for the monster to come to them, for them to finally get their focus strike out. Who knows? I mean, we have to test around with it and kind of see how it plays within team combat when it comes to offset attacks specifically. Now the class animation, yeah, that sounds awesome. I didn't use it too. I didn't actually get a class animation with the Greatsword, but I wish I did. I could just imagine having one of those bigger, chunky Greatswords and blocking attack. Must look great. I can't wait to see that in the full game. And yeah, once again, everyone seems to like the focus strike apart from me. So maybe it's just a me thing. I'm sorry, guys. But the mountain attack, I didn't actually mount with the Greatsword actually. I was mostly on the floor, so I didn't see it myself. But it's always good to see some more mountain attacks, because I think the ones in World were kind of garbage, to be honest. Like, a lot of the animations weren't that great. Obviously in Rise we didn't have mountain animations, and in the old games we didn't really have them either, so there isn't much to compare on. But what I can say is the Wilds ones are really good. They are really good compared to what we had before, so I agree with that. Now I don't know much about Frontier. I heard about extreme mode, extreme style, but I don't know much about it. So if that kind of looks like a stream style, that's cool. I really just can't wait to use it more in this game. So thanks, Honey Konav. I really appreciate this comment. It's always good to see your opinions, and I appreciate it. And next we got Cherokee, and they say love the Greatsword. I'm also happy they made Rise and Slash useful. I'd say for this gen, Greatsword was given less of a reason to sheath during combat. After True Charge Slash, you can just do an offset attack and keep on going. It's a brand new flow that makes you feel like a badass. Guarding is actually useful and not situational. Well, the perfect guard makes it useful. I'd argue it's better than tackling for attack swings that aren't too fast. Last but not least, tackle. I love that it retains your charge level. Greatsword has a new interesting balance, or have to play between sheathing and not sheathing. And yes, so a lot of people talked about not having to sheath your weapon and the flow of the battle, but the way you kind of phrase it here, it kind of sums it up nicely. There's going to be different ways to play of having your weapon sheathed and attacking with hit and run, or not having your weapon sleeves and just being out there going from true charge slash to offset and so on, and just balancing between the two and just keeping in the flow of the combat. You no longer need to put your weapon away and then wait. Maybe this will make quick sheath a dead skill. Maybe this will make other skills like that. I don't know yet. But it's cool to see this change, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to play it. Now, one thing to say about guarding. Guarding being useful on a Greatsword is unheard of. Honestly, it's unheard of. But in this game, it's good to hear. It's honestly good to hear. I'm wondering if just adding Garden to your weapon is going to be a good option for certain situations. Who knows? I've never done that with Greatsword. I don't think anyone has ever really thought about doing that on a Greatsword. Maybe that's going to be a new way to play if you really just want to play in a monster's face and not put your weapon away. And then lastly, so I definitely agree when you talk about the tackling. It's just going to help with the strings. It's just going to help you keep in the flow of combat and not restart from zero. Is that too powerful? It's yet to be seen. I guess we have to see in the full game. But so, thanks for this one. And lastly, we have John here. I just hope you're not the same hacker John from the past. If you know, you know. Anyway, something I find crazy is that they made Greatsword fast. It charges faster, it hits faster, it can be redirected. The focus strike is amazing. The power cast going to true charge slash is huge. It's a good comment to end on. Greatsword is great. Honestly, Greatsword is great and it's good to see. Now onto my thoughts. What do I think of the Greatsword? I think it's great. Honestly, I really wish I played it more because there was just so many weapons to play, honestly. I went through most of the weapons, so I didn't get as much time as I wanted the Greatsword. But being able to hold the weapon out and keeping the fray of the battle just feels much better. It feels like a new experience, definitely, as people said. Even though I'm so used to playing hit and run, I'm going to transition into this type of playing, and I think I'm going to enjoy it much more. The Greatsword as a weapon always felt like it was based on Guts. I don't know if you know Guts from Berserk. If you guys watch anime or read manga, you will know. You know, a big weapon from a big guy fighting big monsters, right? That's Guts. And Guts doesn't run. He doesn't hit and run. He's in the monster's way. If monster comes, he parries, he attacks, he strikes. Being able to play that way in this game means you're playing the most Guts you can ever play, honestly. This is Guts. The Guts at its peak. So I am happy. I'm glad that it's built this way now. I just need to play it more to get used to it more. Because there's so much to get used to with this weapon now. It's changed. It has changed. Not drastically, but it's definitely changed its playstyle and how to approach monsters now. 2-charge slash changing mid focus mode. I still don't like it. I don't think I'll ever truly like it. I've accepted it and I guess I'll use it because it's a part of the game balance, but it's not. I don't think it should be a thing, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Now, the 180 degrees thing, I was already like, I don't like that. But then changing midway, I was like, wow, I really don't like that. But it's what they've done, so it is what it is. I'll move on from that because I don't want to talk too much more on that. Moving on to more interesting thing, the offset attack. Yeah, I really need to get used to that because I've seen so many cool offset attack videos and the screenshots and clips, and it's just like so cool. If I can get Ray Dow down on his ass like that quite often, it's going to be so fun. Honestly, it's going to be so fun. So I want to do that more. I need to get more used to the focus mode too. Focus mode and me and Greatsword, I didn't use it too much, but I used it for the focus strikes. But sometimes I just kind of find it difficult to hit. But when I hit it, yeah, it felt good. It did feel good to just drag through the monster and just go to the side and just wash it down. Because when it's down on the floor, you can just get your attacks in, you feel good. You're on the flow of combat and it feels great. It's just sometimes where you miss with the focus strikes. So maybe it's just me being new to it. I need to play it more to really understand how it works overall and the best way to make most use of it. But no, it's great. I'm loving Greatsword so far. Yes, we've lost, you know, some aerial combat from Rise, which I will miss. I will miss Rage Slash, but it's fine. We've gained a whole new way of using the weapon. We've gained a whole new way of using the weapon with offset attacks and also the power clash. Greatsword's just looking like an awesome weapon in this game. I actually can't wait. Greatsword is back. Greatsword's always been there, but this is probably gonna be the most great sword a Greatsword has ever been. If you understand, if you know, you know. You understand what I mean. If you understand what I mean. Sticking down the monster's face. I'm a big weapon, and I'm gonna make you move, or I'm gonna go through you if you try to move me. So I'm loving it so far. When I started this video, I was gonna say yeah, I like it, but conceptually, from what you guys told me, it made me more excited. I'm moving more into the love now. I'm moving more into the love, but I want to play it more. I need to play it more. So I can't wait to play it in Wilds. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you for this video. Let me know if you think down below. You know, like, subscribe. Oh, we're halfway now. We've got a couple weapons left. I think next time we got is dual blades, a weapon I didn't use too much, but I still want to talk about dual blades, so I can't wait to have you guys there. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.